President Trump enacts major changes to U.S. immigration policy, sparking cheers from many supporters, but also concern among some minority groups and Democratic lawmakers.
Today, Democratic state attorneys general, including Arizona's attorney general, filed lawsuits to block President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship, the law that anyone born here in the U.S. is automatically a citizen. Many had a message for the president today.
I will not allow Donald Trump to shred the United States Constitution.
On Monday, one man, the president, said that the citizenship of millions of Americans born to immigrants in this country means less. That the children of immigrants born into citizenship don't have as much value in this country as others. He is wrong.
I have one message for President Trump. I'll see you in court.
Now we have full team coverage headed your way on the rising immigration concerns since President Trump took the oath of office yesterday.
Bianca Bono live at the border. But first, let's get to 12 News journalist Bram Resnick live in our newsroom with more on what these lawsuits mean going forward. Bram.
Yeah, Democratic Attorney General Chris Mays warned today that ending birthright citizenship would result in chaos. Mays told reporters that she and fellow Democratic attorneys general had been working behind the scenes to prepare for President Trump's executive orders. His order on birthright citizenship would end a nearly 160-year-old right in the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. The amendment confers American citizenship on anyone born in the United States, including the children of undocumented immigrants.
Only in a nation where every child is born with the same inalienable, God-given rights can any of us truly be free.
Advocates for President Trump's executive order tell me it was written specifically to provoke a court challenge that would clarify the intent of the 14th Amendment. Coming up at 6, I'll have more on why birthright citizenship has become a target in Trump's immigration crackdown. Live in the newsroom, Bram Resnick, 12 News.
All right, Bram, we'll see you in later newscasts. So within hours of President Trump taking office, the U.S.-Mexico border effectively closed off to migrants who are coming here seeking asylum.
12 News journalist Bianca Bono joins us live now from the border near Nogales. Bianca, what are you seeing there?
Well, guys, right now we're standing near one of the smaller ports of entry here in Nogales. The Morley pedestrian port of entry is just on the other side of my photographer's camera here. And overall, I would say today it's been relatively quiet in terms of traffic and action. But just over an hour ago, as my photographer and I were conducting an interview, my colleague Yolanda Garcia on our digital team, who's out here also working on our border coverage, did witness something that happened exactly behind where we're standing. Yoli, what did you see?
Yeah, Bianca, I was inside my vehicle on a phone call, and I saw through the rear mirror, and I was able to see a lady hanging down from the border fence, and it seemed like she was strapped on her waist. She came down, she ran to the sidewalk, and then she took off some pants, some jeans that she had on, and then she had some leggings underneath. I was able to see a ladder on the other side that was being removed as she was walking away.
Wow, so somebody climbed a ladder on the Mexico side of the border over into Nogales, Arizona, and you were able to talk to some locals here in this area who told you that this isn't necessarily an uncommon occurrence that happens in this section of the border?
Yes, earlier I spoke to a taxi driver, and he did mention that he saw a border patrol vehicle here standing all day. He said that he was probably waiting for someone to cross the border, and I said how, because it's so close to the port of entry, and he said, oh, that happens often. So after that happened, I talked to another local, and he did say the same thing, that there's people jumping over the fence, and actually you can see that the wires are ripped, and there's an open space. So that does happen often, according to what they tell me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Yoli, for your perspective and telling us what you saw. The question, of course, is will we start to see that happen more often or less often after some of the changes that we've seen rolled out in the past 24 hours? And that's really why we wanted to come down here to see the immediate impact of those changes rolled out by President Donald Trump, declaring a national emergency here at the southern border, and yesterday shutting down the feature on the CBP One app that migrants use to seek asylum. That change alone has been tangible here in Nogales. Just on the other side of this border wall, I'm told there are many migrants who showed up yesterday and today with appointments, and they were met with disappointment and sadness when those appointments were canceled. Shelters on the Mexico side are now preparing for an influx of people who perhaps still decide to continue their trip to the border despite their appointments getting canceled, or who were already here and are just not sure what to do next or where to go. I talked to folks over at the Border Community Alliance, which works very closely with shelters in Nogales, Sonora. Take a listen.
It puts nonprofits on the Mexico side in a bind because they now are going to have many more people that are going to be having to stay at the shelters to provide food, to maybe give them bus tickets to go back to where they're from or to another safe place if they can't go back to where they're from. So it's a big burden on the shelters and other services on the Mexico side. Organizations in
And Celia and her team are preparing to go to those shelters just on the other side of the border tomorrow to see what they can do to help. We're also being told Mexican border communities are preparing for possible mass deportations as well. And changes do continue to roll out. Today, DHS announced they would no longer consider areas around schools or churches as sensitive. Previously, enforcement actions in those areas was barred, but that is no longer the case. So folks here in this area and these border communities seems like they're really just kind of soaking in all of this new information and still trying to figure out exactly how it will impact them and what things will look like moving forward. For now, we're live in Nogales. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Yeah, Bianca, there are so many changes that are happening at lightning speed right now, but I'm wondering, especially for those who live on the Arizona side of the border, have you or your colleague Yolanda had a chance to talk about the big headline of today, especially with our Attorney General Chris Mays talking about, filing that lawsuit to end the birthright citizenship? So have you had a chance to get reaction from the community on that?
We did speak with the Consulate General here in Nogales. He actually had a meeting with CBP today to kind of work through some of the questions that they still have about some of these brand new policies. So officials on the ground here in Nogales, Arizona, still working to kind of understand exactly what these policies mean and how they're going to be implemented. That woman that you saw there just a few seconds ago, Celia, I asked her, she's very embedded in the borderlands communities here along the southern border. I asked her about birthright citizenship. She said that the sense that she's getting from folks, especially those who are undocumented or maybe here illegally, there's just this immense sense of fear right now and so much uncertainty. So like I said, really folks here just trying to kind of process all of the information and changes that still are coming in as we speak, and then they'll kind of decide how they're going to move forward from there. But really a sense of uncertainty and fear from what I'm being told.
All right, Bianca, I know you'll have more coming up at 5 and 6. Thank you so much. Troy?